what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is
SPTV.
Welcome back, everybody, for another little segment of SPTV. I'm joined today by my good friend Nora Ames. Oh no, Nora!
Hi, everybody.
I'll pull up our Nora, aka Oh no, Nora.
That's me.
I love it. Is that what I always say when I introduce you, my friend Nora, aka Oh no, Nora?
It's
Actually,
Aaron backwards. It's me. It's the backwards Aaron, because I have hair on top and not on the bottom.
That's right. Nora is Aaron backwards.
That's right.
And actually, I was going to bring up your channel, but I realized I do have one of these.
So no, Nora.
I have one of these little banners here. Boom! Subscribe to Nora on YouTube at Oh No Nora.
Get over there. Give it a subscribe.
So I'll tell you what, since Tom Cruise is getting all the headlines right now with Mission Impossible thing, I think it's worth discussing that Tom Cruise is not the only celebrity out there who is protecting Scientology with their support. And, I think across all the SPTV channels, nobody's probably wondering, what's the problem with Scientology? What's the big deal? But there's certain things that just put such an exclamation point on it.
Yeah.
And, recently we've just learned about this guy, Bob Ferris, whose entire family thought he was dead for the last 17 or 20 years.
I'm as someone who lost their dad suddenly to a massive heart attack, while I was in the Sea Org, I'm still processing it. I mean, yeah, I don't, and let me just say the cherry on top is that Liz lost her dad because she came out. She told her dad, "Hi, Dad, I'm the gay." Okay, she was practicing Scientology. She was a believer. She was, in it to win it with the church. She just happened to be the gay and wanted to be honest about that with her dad. And then the result was, because he was at Gold. Now, if we rewind the clock, okay, and let's just say at the longest, this was 20 years ago. That would put this at 2003. Now, I want to, I don't know, maybe take some responsibility for the church's response to this incident. I will take some personal responsibility for that, because I went to the RPF in 2000, March of 2000, for being the gay. As far as I know, and I don't have any other history to place on this other than my own personal history, but I was the first high profile person that I know of that was RPF specifically for being the gay. My RPF order, and I saw many people get RPF, that goldenrod, the piece of paper that would come out, you would get handed it at staff meeting. It was very embarrassing. The person was not there. They were just gone, absconded with in the night, like a mystery. And they were disappeared to wherever they went away to. But you were then handed this, disgusting piece of, tabloid, the Sea Org tabloid, of course, the goldenrod that would get handed out to tell you all the naughtiness that had gone on. And my RPF assignment was literally one sentence. It said, Nora went out to D with another Sea Org member, period. Entirety of my RPF assignment. No details, no other name of the other person, nothing. That was it. The entirety of my RPF assignment. And
it's interesting to me that they actually didn't want other people to know that it was specifically for gay stuff, because that would
and the person I went out to D with didn't arrive for 3 whole months. And then they put them on the same RPF with me. So, like, normally when you go out to D, they separate the two people, and one person is on like one RPF and another person is on another RPF far, far away, because they don't want them like, because, but we hadn't done anything. Like, we had, our these lips had touched each other on the faces, and that was it. No tongues, no nothing. but yet they had me showering in a room with 40 other naked women, which I had never seen in my entire life. That was very not helping the gay portion of my brain. That's a whole other comedic story.
But what does this have to do with Bob Ferris, with his family being told that
March
he's
2000. I lasted almost 3 years on the RPF. I left in very dramatic fashion, which is today is not about my story, but I left through, attempting suicide in November of 2002. And then even then they were still trying to keep me around. So if Liz came out to her dad in 2003 at some time when I was like officially out, I wasn't speaking out or anything, but if for some reason she got it in her mind in 2003, like, I'm gay, I'm going to tell my dad I'm gay. This would have, there was another person who had arrived on the RPF at that time, who I'm not going to name publicly because she's never said Jack Shinola to anyone, but she had also been busted for being the gay in another continent and then arrived in America. So there was like a gaggle of gays on the PAC RPF at one point. She left quite quietly and has done nothing since. Hey, Vanessa. Hey,
Vanessa.
If this was the reaction now of like, how do we handle these gays after my whole entrance and dramatic exit, we'll just tell people that someone is dead so that the gays will just basically, F off into the ether. I don't know.
Nora, here's what's crazy though. Here's what's crazy.
Like that, that was not the effect I was trying to create. I just wanted to leave.
So Liz, at the time that she came out to her dad, Liz Ferris, right, she was not in the Sea Org.
No, he was though.
She was not in the Sea Org. She was not on staff. She was not declared either a suppressive person or even a PTS type anything.
No.
She was still a public Scientologist in good standing, who every 3 months would call the Int base, call Golden Air Productions, have a lovely conversation with her dad, who, by the way, is now telling the police that he never knew he had a daughter.
I mean, that to me was, the fact that she did not respond in that moment when she was silent, her restraint, I want to hug her. I want to know her. I want to know her therapist. I want to know like everything, because I would have literally collapsed to the ground. I would have just, number one, knowing I lost my father, in 1995. And if I found out he were alive now, 23 years later, or however many years it is now, I can't do math, 28 years later, and that he had just been like fucking lying to me this whole time. And then he tries to tell a cop like, oh yeah, I don't know this. I don't know her. I never heard of her. I would be like, that's it. I would like Hulk the gates open and just be like, where is this man right now? Like there would be no stopping me. There would be nothing. It would just get crazy. I mean, the fact that she just listened to that and was like, okay, like she didn't even say okay. I don't know. I'm still processing it. It's just, to me, wow. That's why, like, my commentary on it was two things. Like all the kudos to her on her restraint. But that also tells me that I think that the officer, obviously this officer is trash and he's not seeing this person. And, everyone's commented about how we need to do, like a real proof of life check, like, and see this human being in real life. Are they actually talking to Bob or not? Right. But if, like, Pollyanna side, let's say Bob is actually alive and now the church is freaking out. The cult is just like on fire. Right. This would be a way for them to try and like, how can we make this go away as fast as possible? Would be like, well, I never heard, I'd like pull a Shaggy. Wasn't me. I never heard of you. Right. And so that's the gross part, is that they're trying to feed him some weird script. to try and like get her to just leave again and forget about it for another 17 years until he actually does pass away or something.
Yeah. And the only reason we're talking about Liz right now at all is really just because it's just yet another phenomenal example of the kind of disgusting, inhumane criminal abuses that celebrities like Tom Cruise, Elizabeth Moss, Michael Pena, Jason Doring, Giovanni Ribisi, this is what these people are protecting with their silence. And I guess we could put some Scientology celebrities into two different buckets. There's people who
I made a list. Are you ready for my list?
Of what?
I made a list of the second. Well, because we always talk about Tom Cruise.
I said of what? List of what? List of what?
Oh, a list of second gens. A list of second gen celebrities. Because we always pick on the big names like Michael Pena. He got recruited. And some of these guys get recruited. Like Jenna Elfman and stuff like that. Like she came in later. And also what has she even done in the last 10 years? Whatever. I don't care about Jenna Elfman. She's just giving money to them, but she's gross. But there are a list of second gen celebrities who, like I've called out Laura Prepon before. I still want to hear from her and all the GLAAD awards that she collected on behalf of gay people. I'm still waiting for a response. Laura, I would love to talk to you, and it could be a private conversation. My email's there on my channel. You can reach out to me anytime. And I would love to talk to you about how you're going to, help gay people out and make it right from being in Scientology. That's a separate conversation. But there are a list of prominent second gen Scientologists who, like Aaron's pointing out, are, protecting Scientology with donating their money and continually saying how Scientology has helped them. Elizabeth Moss is number one on that list. I thought she was definitely taking steps away from the church with the roles she was doing in Handmaid's Tale and all the work she's been doing on Apple TV. Then she came out with her huge Vanity Fair article like 4 months ago saying, oh, nope, definitely still huge believer. Erica Christensen, number 2 on that list. She's been doing huge things lately and keeps coming back with, and this is no critique on their acting, by the way. This is zero critique on any of these people as an artist or an actor or anything else, okay? Because we're not going to get into a debate about that. But Erica Christensen, total born in, still continues to donate and participate in the church. You have the entire Ribisi clan, which Aaron was shouting out there, Vonnie Ribisi, his twin sister Marissa, and their baby sister Gina, who was in the Sea Org for a hot minute with me at Celebrity Center, but does tons of voiceover acting for all of you parents out there that love, those plain animated shows and everything else. That's Gina doing like 50 of those different characters. Juliette Lewis, who's on Yellow Jackets, who hasn't publicly fully completely stepped away, but like Juliette, it's time.
Oh, she's still
you need to stop.
She's still deeply in.
Right. It's time. Let's get real. Let's start pulling off the wool, honey. You're backing something that's gross. Like Gina, Skrillex, you did time with the other kids at these institutions in Scientology schools. You know the truth. All you guys out there that are getting down to Skrillex and all these great collabs he's doing with all these big people. He's out there protecting Scientology. Who's the other one? The other musician guy that was married to Marissa and they're not married anymore. What's his name? Beck, who now says, just kidding. That wasn't me. He's trying to pull a Shaggy. I never did Scientology. Bruh, you were born in it. You gotta make up for that. You gotta tell the whole story. You can't just be like, oh, just kidding. I wasn't a Scientology. Bruh, you were born in like we were. You got to tell the whole real story.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Masterson siblings.
Yeah, all the Masterson. They're a separate category right now because their brother is extra sauce. But yeah, Jordan.
This would be a prime example for Alana Masterson and Chris Masterson to distance themselves from Scientology. Yeah. They could go, we cannot tolerate the cover up of abuse that occurs in Scientology. They could use their brother's conviction as a prime example of that.
Would be fantastic.
The problem is that they were in the courtroom supporting Danny every single day. Right. So they can't exactly now start saying Scientology covers up abuse victims because
that would be crazy.
They were just supporting their brother despite all of that. Anyway.
I mean, it would be great. It'd be great if this was like a change moment for them. And they were like, well, we've seen the light on the fact that our brother is a trash dumpster fire human being. And we hope he changes. And also Scientology covered this all up. Riley Keough is another one. I know she's been through a lot of stuff, very recently. Her mom passed and everything else. Her brother passed, within your mother and her brother passed within less than a year of each other. And that's a disgusting tragedy on both fronts, and I feel terrible for her, but again, another born in, she needs to not be giving her funds and everything else to that. Jason Doring, he's another one who was on Veronica Mars for years and things like that. Patrick Renna, who's now trying to make a social media comeback, writing on his whole Sandlot thing. Lindsay Bartleson, who everybody forgot about because she was on Grounded for Life, but that was a huge show back in the day. But all these guys, I'm sure I'm missing some people in there, are all second gen actors who have definitely made it in Hollywood, who are writing on Scientology, and they sit out here. Patrick and Lindsay teamed together to open up the Hollywood Mission, and are just roping in all these new actors. You want to know why all these new little Hollywood boopity boop actors get into Scientology and get sucked in? Lindsay Bartleson and Patrick Renna. They opened up the Hollywood Mission and feed them in to the Celebrity Center like a little shark bait and get them in there. So you want to know why people are still joining that are actors and get the Michael Peñas and all these other little people in there and all this other stuff and how they keep doing that? Those two are the number one reason why. That's how they do it, is they go to their parties, they go hang out with the Masterson clan and all these other D-bags and rope them into the cool kids mission. In Hollywood, look at us. We're the cool kids. Oh, look, party, party, party. It's fun times. And who told me Riley's a Scientologist? I used to word clear her at the Celebrity Center. That's who. Okay. Next question. So yeah, that's not really a question. Her mom was a Scientologist. She was born in. That's my point. Her grandmother's a Scientologist. Her grandmother's Priscilla Presley. Is there I'm sorry to get sassy in the chat, but that's the yeah.
Hey,
if Riley's not and she's married to a Scientologist. Her husband's a Scientologist. So her husband's also a second gen Scientologist. So if she's not a practicing Scientologist right now,
who's her husband?
I forget I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I have to Google that. But if her husband's not currently a practicing Scientologist, I hope for her for that. She's a fantastic human being. I'm not mad at any of these human beings. I want to be abundantly clear. As a mom, and as somebody who's older than all these kids, I still consider them kids, even though they're all in their 30s, possibly 40s. I want all of them to get out of Scientology. I want them to stop promoting it and stop backing it. I think the only person I'm the same age as, or maybe slightly younger, is Juliette Lewis and the Rabisis. But I think it's time for all of them to realize what we, Aaron, and when I say we, I'm talking about the royal we, me and Aaron, have known as second gens for a long time. When you grow up in this, you see it from a different perspective because you live it in a different way, and then you are immersed in it in a different way when you are on staff and you're in the Sea Org and stuff like that. And then when you are also working other jobs while you're doing it. So you straddle those both worlds of reality and being in the church. And they have been doing that for years, being actors and things like that. You know what I mean? They are definitely Hannah Montanaing their way through life of Scientology and the real world. So they know that most of the stuff that they're hearing is total BS. And they have half of their friends.
When you say most of the stuff they're hearing,
telling that. The stuff we would hear at events. That be
the stuff they're hearing.
The reason why the Berlin Wall came down is because OT8 was released. Do you know what I mean? Nuggets like that, or there's peace in the Middle East because we handed out 25,000, way to happiness booklets in, Tel Aviv, or something idiotic like that, and everyone's like, oh my God, there's peace in the Middle East. We handled Israel. What? And people are just oh, let's donate more. Yes, I love it. And they're thinking, oh, yeah, because most Scientologists are not watching the news. They're not, allowed to do a lot of things that regular humans, um, you know, uh, are allowed to do that. So they're limited in their scope. They're most people are just so insulated. The layers are all around you because once you're in, everyone in your life is in. You slowly move away from anyone else that isn't in, right? Um, and I think that's what people forget. They slowly get you to disconnect from more and more people that aren't Scientologists. And the rare people that don't get to do that are the people that are elevated in stature, the celebrities. And by that, I mean actors, lawyers, doctors, anyone who's considered in a position of power in their field gets to retain those other connections that aren't Scientological, right? And those are the only exceptions to that rule. Everyone else is supposed to be only talking to, speaking to, hanging out with, living with, associating with Scientologists all the time.
Yeah. So look, I'm going to address this one. Nora, you left in 2003 when Riley was 14. There's no evidence she was ever in as an adult. So Jen, we don't know who your connections are and whatnot, but
this is very true. I will.
Let me just finish my response. I'm sorry,
go ahead.
So in the world of former Scientology, everyone is still connected to everyone. You're assuming that Nora couldn't possibly know anything, and not just Nora, any of us in the world of former Scientology wouldn't be capable of knowing anything about Riley Keough as of the day we were no longer in Scientology. And that's just not the case. The fact is, Riley, there was a period in time where Lisa Marie and Riley were both what any of us would describe as out of Scientology. Okay.
Right.
This was around the time the Scientology in the Aftermath show was beginning. Both Lisa Marie Presley and Riley were regularly in touch with people we would all describe as being very high profile declared suppressive persons. Okay. And then this was around the time that Lisa Marie Presley's divorce with whoever her most recent ex-husband was, before their divorce had initiated, when they were still trying to keep everything together. Then there was a period where Lisa Marie and Riley went back into Scientology. Now, does that mean they went in every day for their 2 hours of course and auditing? No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is that Scientology came to them and got them to agree to disconnect from all of the big, bad, suppressive former Scientologists that they were in touch with. Stop talking mad shit about Scientology privately, because none of them ever said anything publicly. Okay. And if you will disconnect from all of these bad suppressive people, we'll pretend like you never did anything wrong, and we'll let you continue to be in touch with all your Scientologist friends. Now, Lisa Marie Presley didn't have a whole lot of Scientologist friends she cared about other than John Travolta and maybe one or two other people, but mostly just John Travolta. Riley Keough is completely different. Riley Keough depends very much on her Scientologist friends like Jeben Flores and many other people. Okay, so Riley Keough, whether she goes in and gets submits herself to sect checking or not, is very much in the Scientology bubble and has agreed not to say anything bad about Scientology, not to be connected with any big bad suppressive people, and Scientology will let her continue to hang out with her BFFs who are all Scientologists. So now when I look at someone like Riley, who's basically done a deal with the devil so that she can still be friends with her besties, and you compare that to this criminal organization who a man whose entire family was told he was dead so that his
not just his daughter, by the way, his whole family. Yeah.
His whole family, Scientologist, non-Scientologist, the whole family thought he was dead, just so that his gay daughter would stop calling the international base. So this is what we mean when we say Riley Keough is still in Scientology. Like, that's what that means. She's under their thumb. She's living her life according to their dictates. They're telling her what she can and cannot do. And she goes, yes, Massa, I'll do whatever you want as long as I can hang out with Jeben. As long as I can hang out with Jeben, I'll do whatever you want me to do. That's
and
Riley
it's because
Keough.
she's right. And because she's scared, because she thinks that her entire career or whatever, her life is centered around whether or not she can hang around that guy. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's stupid about it.
Oh no, Jibin's a woman.
Or I don't know who Jibin is. I'm sorry. That's what's dumb. I don't know who Jibin is. But you know what I mean? But that's what's stupid about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, she probably thinks that this Jibin character is like so fucking powerful that if she doesn't have the contact with Jibin, that all of her success and all of her other things will fall apart, which again is completely idiotic, because if you've seen her in things, if you've seen her body of work as an actress, she is amazing. And I knew that when she was a 10-year-old. Okay. Like, I looked at that girl and I was like, this girl has talent oozing out of her pores. And I told her directly, I was like, please do me a favor. When you grow up, when you are strikingly beautiful and, you know, the stars are aligning for you, do not let people manipulate you and use you like people did to your father or to your grandfather rather, and to your mother. Like, please, like, keep your own counsel and try to do whatever it is you want to do with your life. Like, I told her that when I was like word clearing her, because I knew that this girl was like going to go on a rocket ride, you know? And unfortunately, you know, she's still trapped at the Celebrity Center. I mean, I couldn't say to her, like, please
Nora,
run away from here and don't ever come back.
Because I know you're going to have to jump pretty soon. This is the biggest thing that I keep forgetting. Nobody knows. The kid from the, let me just finish what I'm saying here. The kid from the Never Ending Story was recruited to this organization. His name's Barrett Oliver, the star of the Never Ending Story, one of my favorite movies as a child.
Say my name, Sebastian.
Say my name, Atreyu. Atreyu. And this guy's been working at the international base for decades.
No, he's not there.
What happened? What do you mean he's not there?
No. So he went in the Sea Org. Okay, so Barrett Oliver. So he went in Sea Org, he went to INT, and then he left. He's a professional photographer now. If you can look him up. He's a professional photographer.
Is he in Scientology still, or is he out?
No. He is like Voldemort in the Sea Org. You're never supposed to speak his name.
I said, is he in Scientology still, or is he out?
Oh, no. He's very out. Very out. He was in for a hot. He was in Sea Org terms. He was in for a hot minute and left. And then,
I was told I was told by Mark Headley that he was there for a long time.
That's not the story I got. And then the story I got one time I asked about him was like, never speak his name. We do not speak of Barrett Oliver.
All right. Well, for you, deep internet investigators, Nora, hold on.
You can find him on Wiki.
Nora, for you deep internet investigators in the chat, help us find Barrett Oliver. And
I'm going to have to ask Mark about it, because I got a very different story about, like, I mentioned him once, and you know.
Well, wait, why would you? Hold on. Why would you have mentioned him? I didn't even know he was ever in Scientology until a few years ago.
Okay, because my aunt is Harriet Schock, and she wrote the theme song for Pippi Longstocking, and she's like a bigwig songwriter. She also wrote the like an award-winning song for Helen Reddy, "Ain't No Way to Treat a Lady," and so like she was a big-time Celebrity Center person. She knew that he had like joined the Sea Org or something. She knew him from her ex fiance Misha, and anyways, whole thing. So she tried to like get me hooked up with a Russian prince one time. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so there's so I mentioned, and it was like my favorite movie. I'd watched it like 300 times as a kid. And she said to me one time, "Oh, he's in the Sea Org." And I was like, "What?" And that was actually kind of like a go button for me to join the Sea Org at one time, because I was like, I could meet Barrett Oliver. As a kid, I was like, maybe I could be there with him. My dad was like, you guys could work side by side. You know what I mean? Like anything to get me to join the Sea Org at one point. Like I could work with Sebastian from the Never Ending Story. So at one point I asked somebody, I don't even remember how it came up. I was talking to somebody about movies, and somebody overheard me talking about it, like the security chief or somebody, that was like quasi-important, was like, we don't talk about Barrett Oliver, like we don't talk about Bruno, kind of a thing. And it got like shut down. And then I was told basically that like, he was there and then it like blew up his acting career. It was like a whole fallout and his agent like had a shit. And
so he came out of Scientology, but he never picked up acting again.
Right. And then he just became a professional photographer, and like he does like Ansel Adams type of stuff, like the old timey stuff. So
that's a damn shame.
He has like a huge, like the last picture I saw of him ever when I looked at him was like, like big, like mountainy man beard, kind of like thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The Never-Ending Story is even L. Ron Hubbard loved that movie.
Story. Did he?
No, it's a joke based on the show.
I was like, wow. I don't know. I think he died before that came out. I don't know. I'd have to look that up when it came.
It's a joke based on the comment that's on the screen right now.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard sent an advice to David Miscavige commenting how much he really loved that movie he saw in the theaters that weekend just before he died.
That's where you got the idea for the body thetans, is from the Nothing.
Oh, that's right. Purple Groovy 69 says he looks like a mountain man now.
There
I don't know
go,
if he's that's what you said, right?
Right? Yeah, that's the picture of him. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, is there a Pembroke Love? There is literally a sequel to that movie called Never Ending Story: The Final Chapter. Is that a joke?
Right. No, there is, and I didn't see it yet. I didn't watch the sequel.
That's not a joke. It's supposed to be the story.
No, it's not a joke.
It's supposed to be the story that never ends, though.
Right.
The final chapter. That would be pretty ironic.
Yes.
The Never-Ending Story is very appropriate with Nora.
I missed that. I should have named my channel. You're correct. I should. That title was right there, and I didn't reach out and grab it.
People still think we're fighting as usual. Lady Pamela, Aaron and Nora have known each other since like forever. So pretty sure they're good guys. Pretty confident they know each other's ways by
Aaron
now.
He's multitasking. Here's the deal. We have known each other forever. When Aaron is doing his thinking face, he has like a dad face on, and that's just what his thinking face looks like.
No, I think they're talking about me telling you to not just to let me finish.
Oh. He's been telling me that for 30 years, guys. I'm going to keep interrupting him. We just talk. That's how we talk. You should see us order at a restaurant. It's fine.
Okay. Goldie is telling everyone that in 7 minutes, you will be joining Apostate Alex on a live streamies.
Yes. But guys, that list I put out, please, like, I know some, listen, again, I love television. I love movies. At one point, I was literally watching 75 different shows at once. That's not an exaggeration. I counted it once on my DVR. One of my other superpowers is the ability to keep storylines and characters straight in my head. I think the pressure with somebody just mentioned the SAG and Writers Guild strike. With the strike going on,
bring that one back up.
And everything right now, I think that it is a perfect time to put public pressure on these people. I hope the Church of Scientology celebs are in the picket lines, because they're members of those unions, and their livelihood and their ability to donate to the church is on the line here. But right now is a perfect time to put pressure on these people and their co-stars, frankly, and ask their co-stars, why do you want to continue to be in these shows with these people who are supporting a cult, and that your money and things are going to, because I tell you what, that 70s show cast is going to be a little short on funds, because their syndication is fucked. Okay. They're really screwed right now because of what Danny has done and going to jail and putting too much pressure on people, because people don't want to do those reruns. And so the rest of the cast is really feeling that, because that was a lot of cheddar. Most people on television don't make their big bucks through the actual show itself, unless you get like crazy popular, like Friends popular or something like that. Where people make their money is in syndication, when the show gets into rerun status years down the line. That's what people retire off of. They count on that. They count on the show getting popular and then getting rerun forever. Okay, so now that Danny is going to jail for a very long time. People don't want to see his disgusting face on television telling misogynistic, gross sex jokes to their children for the rest of their lives. So no one else on that show gets to cash in on the work that they did for all those years. So that's something to think about for all of these other people who have now starred in shows with the list of people that I just gave you that were on big shows like Erica Christensen on Parenthood, that won several Emmys, by the way. All those cast members who are big time Hollywood people maybe might want to talk to her about, turning it around, because she's never really publicly been like, Scientology is amazing. Maybe she could reveal some stuff and maybe distance herself and do herself and her cast members a favor. I'm guessing she might be the first person to be like, you know what? Deuces. She seems to have the best head on her shoulder. I don't know why Elizabeth Moss is hanging around. She's got the most to lose.
All right, everyone, stick a fork in us because we're done. Thanks everyone for watching. Nora's got to jump. Thanks for everyone who watches until the very end. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.